What's going on, guys? It's Chad. Sorry I didn't upload yesterday. Alexis and I were doing like some spring. Is it summer or spring? Whatever. I don't know when the seasons start or end. We were doing some shit yesterday. So on top of that, Diablo 4 ended up releasing, which I mean, I don't really see how I can make content on it personally. No offense to anybody that's like a Diablo 4 creator or whatever, but I just don't see how I could make it that entertaining. It's entertaining to play yourself, and if you know what you're looking at, it's fun to watch as well. The issue is that probably the majority of Call of Duty players have no idea what the fuck they're looking at when they're looking at Diablo. They'll just look at it, see numbers, and just assume that it's just some like geek nerd RPG shit, which I mean, sure, I guess it is, but like that doesn't make it bad. The shit is so good. Kind of depends on if you're like a newer generation of Diablo player or not. At the moment, I'm level 21. I didn't play for like 16 hours straight like a lot of other people did. I'm seeing people at the moment that are like level 50, 55, 56, given I have seen people that are like level 55 solo as well. So group play, you're supposed to level up faster because you can kill more things technically and just be able to farm and shit. Sorcerer as well. I don't think I'm gonna play any other class besides Sorcerer. It's odd. I always tend to play the classes in the games that like hit the absolute hardest in like magic form. I like seeing giant numbers and big AoE and shit like that. Giant screen clears. Love that shit. Now every class kind of has that in the game, but then I would also go to the polar opposite. I like switching. I like going from the class that is like insanely hard hitting, a glass cannon type of deal. Then I like switching completely to a defensive class that is like Z DPS, where basically you don't do a ton of DPS, you don't do a ton of damage, you're just incredibly tanky. I like switching. Honestly though, the funnest class in the game looks like Whirlwind Barbarian. It's strong as fuck. It's probably one of, if not the most iconic class build in the entirety of Diablo. Yeah, so we've been getting more information about Season 4 of Modern Warfare 2. Now, obviously, game's pretty dead in the water at this point, but it's always interesting to see how Activision and the other people kind of react to people's overall public opinion of the game. And I noticed that this year, the sentiment with the game isn't so much that people hate it so much that they're going out of their way to hate it. People hate the game so much now to the point to where they just no longer care about it, which is much, much worse for Activision. Before it was like, okay, well, at least they're passionate about the hate that they have about the game. At least they're still discussing how shit it is. But when it gets to this point, when it gets to the point to where people are now finding alternatives to your game or deciding to just move their entire viewerships to different games, that is a much bigger issue for Activision to deal with, because then they would have to basically regain that trust. And the only way really to regain that trust is to have another massive hit like with Warzone. And to be honest, they're never gonna have the stars align like that ever again. Like, I know a lot of people don't like thinking this, but it's just like, even when you look at the stats, even as a YouTuber, TV shows, everything, every single game had exponentially more players during that period of time that Warzone came out. Every TV show was being binged more, every movie. Basically, my point is that more was consumed at that time than there ever was before. So on top of them making a good game to most people, they also had it at a time where it was a very, very memorable moment, for better or for worse, in a lot of people's lives, and so it'll just stick with them forever. There's no way they're gonna have that shit line up for them again. There's no way that they're gonna go and make another hit again, let alone during a period of time where it's like that. The disrespect is getting hilarious. They tweeted 22 hours ago, not even 1,000 likes and 400 replies. That's not a good ratio, man. I'm telling you right now. There's something so reassuring about having a giant rat and tactical gear on your team. The only way that this ratio is even kind of okay is like a giveaway or some stupid shit. This otherwise is just a bad. It's the only thing that they reply to are the people that are still dumping money into their pocket. They're gonna try to make them feel special for paying for their rat bundle. They said there's something reassuring about having a giant rat and tactical gear on your team. There's something so reassuring about rat and RCE exploits ruining every Call of Duty game and seeing nothing being done about it. Made this tweet thinking I was gonna be on their side after seeing it. I just see Hunter constantly ratioing them. To be honest, Hunter, I'm telling you right now, they'll be even more hurt when you stop replying to them. And here's the thing. I know that the social media guy sees this, and I feel bad for them. When I was tweeting at them during Vanguard and shit, I had a direct line with people that were actually running the social media. Cool guy, cool people. I feel bad for that one individual because he probably agrees with the shit you're saying. And they have to go and make some garbage like this. Who gives a fuck? People are ratting into people's systems who play your games, and you've not addressed this issue at all after removing the only safe way to play your older games. It's literally unsafe to play Call of Duty right now. I'd feel more reassured if the IP grabbing issue on Cold War was resolved. Fix Cold War, it's the only game worth playing right now. At this point, for his own mental health, he probably just tweets into the abyss. He just throws his phone into a locked box where he just doesn't touch it for another 48 hours to meet his contractual obligation as a social media guy. Like I was saying before, we were getting all this information about like, oh, there's this new map coming and all this other stuff, and ultimately, yeah, it doesn't matter if you guys aren't going to change the feel of the game. That's the main problem that a lot of people got with it. You change the feel of the game, You changed the whole formula of Warzone, which people didn't want you to do. You did the same thing to Warzone that you do to multiplayer, which I warned people about, but I can't believe that you guys were able to fuck it up this good. You guys are truly a master at your craft. Activision taking care of DMZ. Also, I don't want to be too disrespectful, but one thing that I've noticed is that there's this weird narrative going around, and I'd say before DMZ came out, I was definitely on this kind of like train of, I think extraction shooters could be the next big thing, and somehow Activision actually sees value in this whole extraction shooter layout. But I've been seeing a good amount of people tweet stuff like, with the massive rise in popularity of extraction shooters, in so and so amount of years it'll be the top of this and all this other shit. Like, at this point it feels like some weird NFT type shit. Maybe it's just me, but are you guys seeing new growth in extraction shooters? Where? Now, I'm not saying that like no extraction shooters garner like viewership or something. Absolutely, Escape from Tarkov, all those things. I talked about how great those games were in their own right, but to like claim that there's like some massive upswing and uptick in the amount of people that are choosing to play extraction shooters over battle royale, that literally does not exist. It doesn't exist. It feels like it's people that are playing extraction shooters that are like pumping themselves up because they want it to be the next big thing. It's truly not. I would argue that the extraction shooter stuff still doesn't garner more attention than regular 6v6. DMZ is still clearly the least popular out of multiplayer and Warzone, and multiplayer has been left at the bottom of the fucking pool for years, and it still has more players than DMZ. And that's not to like take shots at DMZ players. I'm just saying, stop trying to like do some weird brainwashing on your followers, man. Extraction shooters do not have this massive upswing at the moment. That's just not true. Maybe there's some people that are growing off of it for the first time, but to sit here and compare it to the rise of battle royale is just, it's silly. I would be hard pressed, gun to the back of my head, to find anyone posting and retweeting having a viral clip go around of an extraction shooter clip that happened recently in DMZ. Let's just say that, even in DMZ, which is one of, if not the like newest extraction thing, I don't see it anywhere. I don't see talk of it anywhere, other than the tweets of people saying that it's the next big thing. I believed it last year, and I thought maybe Call of Duty would be able to take this massive fan base and somehow like turn them into extraction shooter players, and for sure it was successful for some of them, but a massive uptick, it's just, that's not real. Data miners talking about Vondel and how big the map is and what the shape of the map is and the names of the POIs. The disrespect is getting crazy to the point to where like Charlie Intel is even just like putting info out there as it comes out, like, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, who knows? Gonna tweet about something. That's Activision's problem. They can deal with it. Also, I've been seeing some comments and stuff talking about Battlefield, because they were like, dude, you said that you were gonna go and get the tier 1 skins on Battlefield, but like Battlefield, as far as I know, I don't think they're gonna have any more content after this next update. Now, I'm gonna make a video on this next update. It's new content, why not? But that's not gonna keep me on the game. It's not gonna lock me in. Now, obviously, I mean, I could go and unlock one tier 1 sniper rifle. It's like 1,000 something kills, which isn't so bad. Dude, UFC 5 needs to come out. I don't even care if it's shit. I just want to be able to do that whole career mode thing again. Now, a lot of people were asking me to make some more Requise videos and stuff, but like, number one, I'm a little out of practice, so like, I was never really that great either, but better than the average player, I'd say. But overall, like, I'm just gonna get my ass whooped on Requise at the moment, especially if they're like long-time players that I'm just gonna end up running into. They're like level 100, thousands of fights. I'm gonna get my shit rocked whether I'm playing Requise or not. I need Requise to win, not fucking lose all the time. Given I will say, honestly, some of my favorite funniest moments of Requise clips is when Requise loses. This shit is so funny to me. Obviously, every single year, Call of Duty just ends up gaining a whole bunch of people back or whatever. This time around, though, I think people are gonna feel a little burnt, though, and they're definitely, I think a lot of people are going to be really, really careful about their Modern Warfare 3 purchase. It's gonna be a shame, too, because it'll probably sell less than Modern Warfare 2 because they just got everybody with that. Warzone 2, Modern Warfare 2 just packaged into that thing. Everybody was thinking the next generation COD 2.0. Ended up burning people so bad that even if Modern Warfare 3 is gonna be a better game, which I think it will be a better game than Modern Warfare 2. Not very hard, and that's not really saying much, but I don't think people will buy it even if it is better than Modern Warfare 2. One thing I was thinking about, though, when I was thinking about that question that I had in a video a couple days ago, where I basically said, how are the mechanics of the game gonna end up changing? If Modern Warfare 3 somehow does have movement, right? The game feels a lot better. Some kind of movement is back, some kind of sliding, some kind of momentum, anything. Strafe speeds and all that stuff. I was thinking, how could they possibly change the movement mechanics of Warzone 2, right? Because even if they go and do put out Modern Warfare 3 and the movement is somehow different, right? Let's just say it is. Perfect case scenario, they bring it back. Some form of like happy medium in slide canceling where like the people that hate slide canceling aren't getting absolutely destroyed by people that absolutely love it, but the game still feels good, not punishing the move around and all that shit. I think Modern Warfare 2019, but like revised a little bit. How would they change the mechanics of Modern Warfare 2 with the introduction of Modern Warfare 3? You would think that they can't. Unless, the one thing that makes the most sense to me is that there's actually going to be perks that somehow change your movement. What if there are perks that exist in the game that actually change the movement and like slide cancel possibilities, movement speed, strafe speeds, other things like that? What if they're not as tied to the weapon and the soldier movements are more tied to perks? Then they could introduce those perks into Warzone 2, which will then change the movement. That could work. At the moment, people are saying like, nobody cares, we're not gonna play this shit unless you go and change the movement, blah, blah, blah. But it'll eventually get to the point to where if you don't change the movement within a period of time, even when you finally do change it, you're just gonna sit there and talk about how long it took you to change it now. It's not that they'll never be satisfied, it's that you guys never operate accordingly. Tell me, did all of these movement changes actually result in more player retention? Tell me. I'd like to know. And explain to me why the player base continuously falls multiple percentiles every single month. What retention? You guys literally have a rocket science psyop fucking mission going on with your matchmaking systems and microtransactions, and you can't keep people on your game? Kinda sad, ain't it? What are you gonna do? Tell me I'm wrong about the numbers? There's a reason why you guys hide it. You used to be real proud of it. Then you started playing your whole like psychological game. You wanted people to feel like the game is more popular than it actually is type shit. Whatever, man. Everybody already knows it's getting real disrespectful out here. Every single time they tweet, they just get ratioed by literally anybody. It's so funny. I'm gonna go clean up some shit, play Diablo.